Brian David Marshall here with Matej Zalkai, and we are going to watch something we don't often get to see on the stream. We haven't seen a lot of team Grand Prix covered in a while, and we're going to get to watch people do team draft. And this is a very different animal than a regular booster draft. Matej Zalkai, explain to people why this is so different.
Well, first of all, a team draft is 6 people compared to 8. So that already means there are 6 fewer booster packs in the draft overall, which influences things. And also, remember, when you're drafting at home or with your friends, and there's 8 of you, you're likely to see the cards going around late. They're not going to be that good. But from the pack you open, if you open a good pack, you're much more likely to see something come back just because there's fewer people taking cards out of it. But mainly it's 3 versus 3. So they're in like an MW shape here. As you see, Javier Dominguez, he's teaming with Luis Salvatto there on the right and Márcio Carvalho on the far left. And so there's also the additional dimension that, you open some cards. You not only have to think about something for your deck, but what you're passing to your opponent on your left and also to teammates. So a lot of tactics go into what you want to do.
And so the way these matchups are going to play out there, you see, again, Javier Dominguez in the front here foremost. Across from him at the furthest away is Raphaël Lévy. They'll be playing first round.
Yes.
So they're going to be drafting their decks and, preparing to do battle. Jérémy Dezani and Luis Salvatto will also be doing battle and so on and so on. Here we go. We're getting ready for the draft. You see the players counting out their decks. And we're going to start on Javier Dominguez, the Spanish national champion.
Yeah, look, he's very concentrated. Oh, this is nice.
Starts right out with a combustible Gear Hulk.
And in a pretty weak pack overall. There's a Diabolic Tutor, Aetherborn, Marauder, Arborback Stomper. Those are okay cards, but it doesn't compare to the combustible Gear Hulk at all. He doesn't have to hesitate at all in this pack.
No, absolutely not. You can still even cut off green if you decided to be green-red. Nothing super compelling to make anybody into another color.
And the best thing about this pack for Javier is that there's no other good red cards in the pack.
No,
nothing at all.
Not.
There's a Hunt the Week as well from the green card. Winddragon, not something I'll be happy about. Skyskiff is a solid card as well as Spireside Infiltrator. But if that's the Spireside Infiltrator is the second best red card in the pack, you're happy. You might wield that.
And I was just going to say, again, remember, you're going to see, when you see that pack again, only 6 cards will have been removed. He may very well get that card.
Yeah.
Combustible Gear Hulk, of course, was the pick. Interesting there we see.
Again, a pretty weak pack.
But an Electrostatic Pummeler.
Yeah, but two good red cards. I like Morphous Doorbuster as well as the Chandra's Pyro Helix. If you want to stay on color, there's certainly worse than you can do there. As you see the first pick there. So I would be very surprised if Javier went into a second color, even though it seems like he likes the Embral Bruiser there. Yeah, I would pick Pyro Helix. And
he is going to take the Pyro Helix, even though it's a card we saw in Team Sealed. But I guess maybe the power level of the decks is a little higher. A card that didn't even often get played in main decks.
Yes. But Chandra's Power is overall solid in draft, and you'll find a room for it in a red deck. Remember, the power level of these draft decks is going to be maybe a little lower than you would see in a regular draft as well. So you just have to focus on getting good playables here. Oh, Brazen Scourge, Well-Fast Monitor. Red cards keep coming. Even though this pack was pretty good in Aviary, Mechanic, Longfin, Skywhale as well.
He did look at that Core Prowler and think a little bit about maybe cutting green off. Maybe he thinks the next best card was green. There's also a Fairgrounds Trumpeter.
Yeah, he's already passing down the combo. He passed the Electrostatic Pummeler, now larger than life, making his way around, but goes with the Brazen Scourge there. And I agree. I like where his deck is heading. Staying in one color, and then he can pick up the second color once he sees what is open. A couple picks down the line.
Or even a pack down the line.
Yeah, well, if he gets past something good, of course. All right, that's a good sign. Spireside Infiltrator as well, Aether Theorist, both decent cards.
We've seen some of the red decks make use of cards like Giant Spectacle, in draft. Especially in a format where you might need to get a little dirtilier, a little, you might need to go a little deeper for playables. It might even be a card that works. But Spireside Infiltrator, a better card here.
A very tough pick, though, in my book, because he really was deciding, like, okay, am I staying on color? But I don't mind the Infiltrate. It's a decent card, but there's
the Armorcraft Judge is tempting you?
Yeah, there was just, in general, some other cards that would tempt me.
Another Brazen Scourge.
That's a very good signal now.
Again, red is a color that, if you pay attention to people talking about draft, among content creators, red is a color people have been very down on in the draft format.
Yeah, and but the problem with the Brazen Scourge that he also picked the Spireside Infiltrator. He already has a lot of 3 drops, and this is something he has to be very careful about. This because there's nothing worse than a badly curving out aggressive deck. If you are all on 3s, maybe that's what he's going to look for in a second color. Maybe to provide those 2 drops for his deck.
There's a Reckless Fire Weaver. There is a Speedway Fanatic. That card is, he's all haste all the time here.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to suit his strategy very well. And with all those haste creatures, I wouldn't be surprised if he went into maybe something like black-red, because this combination really enables him to go very fast. And he takes the Speedway Fanatic, exactly what he needed. And now he's going to get his pack back, the one he opened. Maybe if there's the Spireside Infiltrator again, it's going to be a great signal. Ooh,
it's not there,
Hunt
but
the Weak.
There is a Wayward Giant in there.
Yeah, Hunt the Weak wheeled from this pack, which was somewhat weak. I wouldn't be surprised if he took the Night Market Lookout, because the Hunt the Weak might not be... it's close.
But he might also... Again, remember, because you're passing to someone who your teammates are going to play against, even if you're not green, at this point, Hunt the Weak is so much better than some of the other cards that you might want to not... I don't want you to have Arborback, Colossus, and...
Yeah. And more green cards incoming. Not much in those other colors. Just Herald of the Fair, Hijack, Thriving Turtle. And I think he taking the Hunt the Weak was correct also, because I wouldn't be surprised if to his left there's a green drafter.
Yeah.
Because of the Arborback Stomper he opened. That was the second best card in the pack alongside the Hunt the Weak. And so it just none of the other people are green. It just made its way around the table.
Takes Thriving Turtle, kind of dipping his toe into blue here a little bit.
Yeah, not much else here. The Mastodon is solid. It's just a body.
Core Prowler, Percata Club Security, and a Bastion Mastodon. He takes the Mastodon.
Yeah, he can just play it even if he's not white. It's a 5-mana 4/5. It's like a Wayward Giant, with just slightly worse. All right, so we didn't get to see all the cards. The red cards seemed a little bit weak, but yeah, Appetite for the Natural. At least it's a decent sideboard card. If he ends up green.
And again, it's a sideboard card that also can't go to his opponent.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, a couple of stinkers
Fragmentize
at the end. Yeah, Fragmentize can be a decent sideboard card if he ends up in red-white. But remember, he did pick the Hunt the Weak, but I think he's solidly mono-red here.
Passing that black card, you're giving yourself a real disservice, because you have the opportunity to win with that card and get the headline Mind Rotterdam.
Yeah. Nice. Just Torch Gauntlet into Torch Gauntlet. The one thing to note that in this pack, Javier passed an early Spireside Infiltrator into the pack, and it did
not come back.
It did not come back. So there's, I think, 2 red drafters at this table. But Javier is so far heavily in red, and he still has a lot of options there. So yeah, look, his deck's looking okay so far. Not too many cards, but there's 6 good red cards, and he can definitely play the Mastodon as a 7th playable, and either Hunt the Weak or even Thriving Turtle, maybe if he went into energy, could make it.
Could go in any direction here. Could go green, blue, red, white. Doesn't matter.
Just
pretty much black
cards.
is the only, and he could still go black if the cards start to run in the next pack.
Yeah, I think some of the cards you would like to see, considering what the makeup of his deck is so far, would be a Sky Skiff. He also didn't see it back, but it's already looking like it would be a nice 2-drop for his deck.
It gives his deck a little bit of reach in terms of like a late game where maybe the board bogs down, but you can just use your Spireside Infiltrator to ping away, or Night Market Lookout if you go into black.
And this sort of like is a place where I would like the Renegade Freighter, but problem is he's already has a lot of 3-drops. There's a Marionette Master in the rare slot.
And that's an example of a card you just do not want to pass.
Yeah, but it also might be a problem fitting it into an aggressive black-red deck. It's a little slow.
There's a Decoction module, which he's going to be passing potentially to Andre Strosky, who will be thrilled to get that. That's a card he used to great effect.
Yeah, it's for me it's the Marionette Master, but there's no good red cards in this pack, and not much he can wheel. Maybe he should start looking through the rest of the pack and trying to figure out what he could wheel from this pack.
He's thinking about an Eager Construct.
Yeah. Or the green cards. This is a tough pick.
But if you're going to take a green card, do you take the Pima Outrider? He's just like, no, I can't let the other team have a shot at this card that's been so dominant all weekend long.
Yeah, the problem is with the double red and Brazen Scourge, if you pick up Pima Outrider, it's early double green as well, so that makes it a little harder. Okay, This pack, salivating another 3-drop in salivating gremlin. I don't think he's too happy about that. He also doesn't have that many artifacts.
There's a Narnum Cobra that he could take there.
Yeah, it's a 2-drop. Could work if he ends up green. It's also nice.
Built to Smash, also really nice in his deck.
Yeah.
Even if it's just as a traditional pump spell and doesn't give trample.
It looks like he's going to go for one of these 2 red cards.
Yep. I think he's going to go ultimately with the Built to Smash here. There's a lot of 3-drops, no?
Yeah. Took the Salivating Gremlins. I mean, it's a decent card, but just not that many artifacts just yet. Okay, Thriving Rhino. Making his way Skyweller shots, nice white cards.
There's also
another Gremlins.
Yep. A Spontaneous Artist.
Here comes the tough part of his draft. So far, he stayed firmly on mono red, but now are the hard decisions into what should the second color be for him.
Well, again, I think that speculating on the Skyweller shot is fine here because, again, still a perfectly reasonable hate draft.
Oh, he changed his mind last second. Another Gremlins, another late drop. Ugh. That's rough. Like, he might be thinking he can still pull off. Look at it.
Another Skyweller shot. Wow.
Inspired Vantage and a Propeller Pioneer as well. I think the Pioneer, especially after double Gremlins, is something that he could like. But I mean, he's not white. He passed the Skyweller shot. He can pass another one. Land is also tempting.
Not more tempting than the Skyweller shot, though.
That's a good pack. Tough, especially after late second changing his mind. Another 3-drop, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's
all the
true.
3s. Spire Charge, Eager Construct, Glintsleeve Artisan. The white seems open here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a Glintsleeve Artisan. There's also a Thriving Ibex, I think, at the back of the pack. I gotta tell you, I might just think about Eager Construct at this point, though.
Yeah, I mean, he has so many 3s already, but Glintsleeve Artisan is among the best ones there, especially if he wants to be aggressive, but he might be ruining some of his previous picks. Yeah, he goes for the
he just needs 2 drops.
And artifacts.
Absolutely. He's got 2 Salivating Gremlins now.
Yeah, it's a shame. But
he would love to see a Cogworkers Puzzle Knot.
Oh, well, if he wants to stay on course for white, that's exactly the card he would like. And here's the module made its way around the table, and he's like, whoa, what? What now? This is late. But unfortunately, he has no synergies for it, so I think he's just going to take the Build to Smash. Pass it to his right. But if someone didn't want it on the first try, yeah, maybe they won't want it on the second either. I like this trick. Should be decent enough, even though he doesn't pack that many artifact creatures.
Wow, white is wide open. We're seeing cards in white that he was looking at earlier.
Yeah,
come all the way back around the table.
Packable timing is not the best here. He can maybe take the Consult Shield Guard as a 4-drop. It's actually not that bad with especially if you like Brazen Scourging it up.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to take the Impeccable Timing though.
That's fine. I guess he's going to be a little unhappy that he didn't start picking white cards sooner.
Yeah, one more Skyweller shot. Pretty great in deck. I got to tell you, Trusty Companion, kind of a nice...
With Brazen Scourge?
With the Brazen Scourge is really sweet in his deck. He's got 3 different creatures with haste.
Yeah. Yeah, he also has a Speedway Fanatic, you're right.
But he takes Built to Smash number 2.
Yeah. I mean, Trusty Companion, it's at least a 3/2 for 2 mana, but it's not a great attacker anyway.
It can be a little clumsy in the aggro deck.
Yeah.
Spontaneous Artist or Eddy Trailhawk.
Again, 2-drop or 4-drop. I think I would go with the Hog here. It should be fairly decent in his deck, just because he has the double Brazen Scourge. Goes for the Spontaneous
Our offer continues.
Yeah, I mean, like if you would ask my friends what I think about the Eddy Trailhawk, you would know. Ooh, look at the nice pickup of
That's
the
great. Inspiring Vantage. Perfect mana fixing for him.
Yeah, it's good. It's just going to make it that much easier to cast those Brazen Scourges, because that's the big issue. With these decks, sometimes the white early drops, you want to play them early, and then you have the Brazen Scourges and the Ibex Wield as well. Yeah,
white is wide open.
I mean, there's a white drafter at the table, but it seems like there's only one other white drafter and only one other red drafter so far. A couple of late cards. So, yeah, he's not in the greatest of shapes. I think if he had switched to white a little bit sooner, he'd be in a very good shape. But he's okay.
It'd be interesting to see what happens here in the third pack.
Yeah.
In terms of does he somehow maybe push Andre into white with that Skyweller shot?
Maybe, yeah, and the glint sleeve artisan, and the
Yeah.
propeller pioneer, and those packs as well. Hey, at least, yeah, those gremlins didn't look that great the first time around. Yeah, but he can make him work.
Yeah, but a little bit of a glut at 3, as you said.
Yeah.
And without the thing about being glutted at 3 is you don't have that opportunity on turn 5 to be able to go, 2-drop, 3-drop.
Yeah.
You can't do that until turn 6 if you're lucky.
Yeah, he even pushed the torch gauntlets towards the front as like potentially playable. But I mean, if he can pick up some artifacts, he'll still be in okay shape. Like, for example, like Salivating Gremlins, even if you have a Build to Smash in your hand, it doesn't give it trample automatically, but just play one artifact. You have suddenly 4 power creatures with Build to Smash 7 power. You can do some nasty things.
Play a Torch Gauntlet, equip it.
Yeah.
And Build to Smash. That adds up pretty considerably.
And you know what's funny? We saw the Electrostatic Pummel in Pack 1. We didn't see it again.
Oh, yeah.
Someone might be doing it. And that person will probably be very unhappy about the Build to Smashes, not wheeling.
Okay, so this pack has the Propeller Pioneer. Start thinking about the, surprised he hasn't looked maybe at the hijacks. He's got such an aggressive.
I mean, this pack is fairly weak. Like, he has the Gremlins again, but I don't know why he's playing around with those black cards. He probably doesn't consider himself white yet at all. He's just like thinking, oh, maybe I'll take the black 2-drop. Go into black. He could still take the Propeller Pioneer.
He's got Salivating Gremlins up top, competing with Syndicate Trafficker.
And Brawl Bruiser. He must be really thinking like, oh, dude, I need 2-drops, no matter what it takes, but I could just go for the Gremlins. Maybe he's just really hoping that like a server exhibition or a Cogwalker's Puzzle.
There was a server exhibition that we saw that did not come back.
Yeah. Another land there if he wanted to go into white-black. Inventor's Apprentice, it's an early drop because he's really low on artifacts. I don't think he can really pick that. Fireforger's Puzzle is an artifact.
There's also a Prophetic Prism in there.
Yeah, he could pick that.
Which he's sort of sorted to the top here. Yeah. You see the 3 cards he's looking at.
Not great, though. But maybe if you're desperate, and they're going to go across 3 colors, Prophetic Prism can help you out.
I kind of like the Inventor's Apprentice here. I mean, he thinks he's going to get more artifacts.
Well, he can probably wield the red fire puzzle knot here.
And he could end up playing the Torch Gauntlets.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't be thrilled about it, but I understand he wants to lower his curve. So he took the Inventor's Apprentice, right?
Yeah, he did. Oh, Visionary Augmenter.
Double white, though. And he's not... okay, that's a great card for him. Iron Leaks, more haste.
Yes.
Just gives him 2 artifacts, basically. Great with the Salivating Gremlins, of which he has 3 of. So, I mean, the Visionary Augmenter would be great as well, but I don't think he can pull it off with double white casting cost. So going for the artifact here is the safe bet. Plus, it's great with the Build to Smashes.
Yep. Iron League Steed is the pick. 4th haste creature.
Yeah.
And 2 artifacts, like you said, for the 3 Salivating Gremlins.
Okay, Welding
Sparks and a Thriving Grubs.
It's a late removal spell. And I know he wants the 2-drop really badly, but if it was like a really good artifact 2-drop, I could maybe think about it, but I think you have to take the removal spell here.
Look at that! Oh!
I wanted both.
Why can't they be across 2 packs?
Yeah.
He's like, and people are watching me if I take the Thriving Grubs.
Yeah. Yeah, he has to.
He does take the Welding Sparks.
It's just way too good of a removal spell. He still needs at least an artifact. Like, he'll be so happy. That's a weak pack for him, though. He'll be really happy to play the Bastion Mastodon, I think, in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, this pack is like, you can take the Reckless Fire Reaver. I mean, it's a 2-drop. I mean, with Torch Gauntlets, at least it can hit in for some damage, but I don't think he wants to play either of those.
Looking at the Consulate Skygate, looking at the Emerald Bruiser. Yeah, decides Reckless Fire Weaver, that's the answer.
Yeah, the black ship sailed long ago, Javier. He could have been black-red, but...
Oh, wow.
Now extra
maybe
punishing.
Nobody's black-red.
Yeah, definitely not. Or maybe just someone's banking on the unlicensed distribution wheeling. But I see an artifact. It's a 3-drop. It activates through black, but it's an artifact. So he might just hate draft the unlicensed disintegration away. Yeah, he might actually play it. Like, I think he doesn't have that much white.
Okay.
He could maybe pull it off, but I'm really not sure. Okay, wait. Amalfi squad.
Emerald Bruiser came back around, and Malphus squad. I like Malphus squad. It's another, gives him a nice evasive creature.
Yeah, but Narnum Cobra 2-drop artifact takes all the that doesn't force you into black. So I think it's gonna be the Cobra, even like off color.
There you go.
He's gonna be quite happy about the Cobra, but I just can't shake the feeling that like Javier could have had a fairly decent deck if he just focused a little more on the 4-drops.
So there's the puzzle knot that you said would come back.
And Lan again, teasing him. Can I pull off a double splash? No, I think the puzzle knot's fine. Ooh,
He's
but
taking the concealed courtyard.
Interesting.
What black card does he have that he...
I don't think he picked up that Dead Man Irrelevant black cards in the end. Okay, well-fast monitor.
Well-fast monitor seems... I mean, again, a 3-drop. There's a subtle strike, and he's considering it.
Yeah, but again, artifact creature... Yeah, right.
Evasion of a sort.
Yeah, funnily enough, in this draft, he basically saw almost no vehicles. Ooh, Thriving Grubs. We'll look he has to be happy about that one. Like, I'm betting you Javier is like breathing a sigh of relief because I think now he has enough playables for his deck. That's one of the problems in team draft. If you draft those 16 land aggro decks, the problem is that you need 24 playables. And in team drafts, 24 playables is actually a tall order sometimes.
Gets a Herald there.
Terror of the Fairgrounds, no?
Yeah, he's just
no
going
love
to
for
take the Core
5-2.
Prowler. Takes another Core Prowler.
No one likes the Core Prowlers.
No. I mean, they like it more than they like Dramatic Reversal.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's always underrated, but 6/6 for 6, it's not that bad.
So there you have it. What do you think? How do you? What's your grade for the deck?
Not great, but for a team draft, it could be it could be decent. I think the quality of the cards was okay. I didn't feel like he was passing a good deck downstream. That was ridiculous. So, but I think his curve is going to be the biggest problem. So many 3-drops, and
the thing is, he does have the ability to just steal a game.
Yes.
With turn 2 haste creature, turn 3 haste creature,
Yes.
turn 3 haste creature with a built to smash.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things was if he was thinking of building his deck in this way, I was surprised he didn't take out many late hijacks. It's an odd.
Well, that's a card I kept looking at that card, and maybe it was just too many cards already in that sort of slot in his casting cost, but it really does let you steal a game and seems perfect in his deck. He could have even been more closely mono red.
Yeah, definitely was possible. But with 2 red drafters at the table, what we felt like it was never going to be easy for that kind of strategy. So yeah.
Combustible Gear Hulk though at the top.
Yeah.
Does a great job of finishing the game off for him. If he can get a lot of damage in early, either gets to draw 3 cards or people get to roll the dice on, the converted mana cost on the top of his deck.
Yeah, and that makes me wonder because he picked the Combustible Gearhog early, but you would think by judging the rest of the page that he's trying to build like a hyper-aggressive deck. Like he basically only had 2 and 3 drops, and he kept always shoving the 4 drops to the back, like ignoring them. But if he wants his game plan to get to the Gearhog, he can't just have all the 3 drops.
Right.
It's just not going to get him anywhere.
Now remember, he is going to be playing against Raphaël Lévy,
Oof.
and we're going to get a chance to see what Raphaël Lévy drafted as well.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how the packs from Javier, how they came
right.
around.
Get to see what comes
Raph.
around and see what picks Raph is making that are leading to
Yeah,
cards going around. Red and white, though, again, I think the thing about Javier is he ended up in the 2 most open colors.
Yes, red seemed fairly open from the first pack. It seemed clear, but he then kept like skipping on some white cards here and there in favor of some weaker red cards. So I think he could have had a very nice red-white deck, even though like not a vehicles base, but just like solid creatures and some tricks. And he's somewhere in the 3-drop central.
Well, Skywhirler shot. I mean, that would have been another 3-drop.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
okay. So we're ready to look at what Raph Lévy drafted across the table. Let's head back down to the feature match area and see what's in store for Javier Dominguez. All right. Raph Lévy opens a pack, and tidy conclusion is pretty much the best card in the pack. Armorcraft Judge, a card I really like.
Yeah, but it was good. There was a Contraband Kingpin as well, but the pack overall wasn't that strong, and starting off of a nice removal spell with Tidy Conclusion is always great. He didn't have that much to think about.
And there we see a Brazen Scourge. We know where that's going to go.
Yeah, but a Furious Reprise that we
didn't see.
Yeah, exactly. So now, decisions time. Yeah, look at that. Raph Lévy might already be the other red drafter if he goes for the Furious Reprisal, but there's also a Foundry's Creature if he wants to stay on color. And
Make Obsolete is a card I really like a lot. And you're definitely going to keep track of it. When you get back to the table, you're going to be like, who did one of us get the Make Obsolete? Who has that? Where is that card?
Yeah, for sure. But it's going to be the same deal for Furious Reprise if Raphaël Lévy doesn't take it. He takes it.
He takes Furious Reprisal. Wow.
So the battle for red cards commences. I mean, it was probably the best card in the pack. So I'm not surprised Raph took it. And Black Red is usually a decent. And there's a Speedway Fanatic.
Speedway Fanatic, a Sky Skiff, and a Foundry Screecher. So he's taking a black removal spell. He's taking a red removal spell.
Yeah.
What do you follow that up with?
Well, I already know what happens to the Speedway Fanatic, so that makes it a little clearer. But I think he's going to go for the Sky Skiff here. It's just an artifact. Doesn't force him to commit still. He can then be either black or red alongside the Sky Skiff. And we saw the black-red deck with Night Market Lookout, with the Spireside Infiltrators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Work really well alongside the Sky Skiff. Just the Crew 1 is so good in this deck. And there's a Spireside Infiltrator. Yeah, this is the pack that Javier Dominguez opened. And
there's also a Sky Skiff in the pack. There's also a Night Market Lookout in the pack. So the whole combo is in the deck there.
Yeah, I mean, he might try to wield that Night Market Lookout. You know, maybe start off with the Sky Skiff or an Infiltrator. Early in the strat, you're like, you don't want to overload on just one thing. You know, you don't want to take 3 or 4 vehicles as your first picks. So I think he's trying to just differentiate his portfolio a little bit here.
He takes the Spireside Infiltrator there.
And so he wants to be red. And he can still swap into a different. There's the Night Market Lookout and the Malphus Doorbuster. What's it going to be here, Raph? I think he's going to take the red card because he only has the one black card early, the Tidy Conclusion. It's also double black. So I think we might have found our red drafter here. Our other red drafter, at least.
Isn't it always how it works out?
I guess. Yeah, I like the Doorbuster, though. It's a great card especially if you're being aggressive. It would be really nice in Javier's deck alongside those Brazen Scourges.
Absolutely. All right, Malphus Doorbuster. What is he going to follow it up with? There's a Picata Club Security.
And nothing. Basically, this pack is super weak.
Yeah, there's a Bastion Mastodon. There's the long-finned Sky Whale.
Yeah, you might think about the Aviary mechanic. He didn't see much that much in black, and he only has one black card in the Tidy Conclusion to start. So you might just take the mechanic here and switch into white.
He does take the Aviary mechanics, so a red-white mirror at this point.
Right. Yeah, I like the pace of the draft. It's going fairly nicely here. Yeah, this is one of the weaker packs there. Ether Theory is by far the best card in the pack, and I'm surprised it was going around this late.
How about Inventor's Goggles? That's a card that seems
yeah,
pretty nice in the red-white deck.
I agree. I like the goggles, especially if you have some of those Artificer. And those are fairly easy to pick up.
Levy nodded at the card for us, but took the hijack.
Yeah, we talked about
which could be a fascinating wrinkle in this matchup. Remember, he is going to be playing against Javier Dominguez. Sees.
Yeah, not a lot of red. I mean, these packs didn't have that many red cards, and Javier was lapping the mob on the other side of the table.
Take Select for inspection. Surprised he picks that there over Fragmentize?
No, I mean, he just evaluating his options. He probably wants to stay red, but trying to decide what his second color is going to be.
Reckless Fire Weaver, Tassel Dromedary not getting picked. But Inspired Charge is an interesting card as well. Yeah,
also the Dakar P-Foul as well, but he's going to stick with the red here. Yeah, it's at least a good thing that the two red drafters are opposite each other because they're not taking that many cards from each other. But Build to Last and Wayward Giant, both the solid cards in team draft. Remember, it's 3 against 3, so 6 people at the table.
And players are only going to play one match.
Exactly, yeah.
So he takes the Wayward Giant. Another hijack. I love it.
I don't think he's going to play 2, but sometimes if you just need it.
Yeah, I mean, you can find yourself at like 20 or 21 cards that you really want to play, and sometimes you just need to scrap for those last couple. So here's a Demolish.
Yeah, passing a couple of stinkers there at the end. The red card made his way into back. Yeah, it's a giant
Spectacle.
You like it?
I mean, if he ends up being the low to the ground red-black deck, I don't like. It is the kind of card I classically hate, but I do think that there is a very lean, mean, low to the ground red-black deck that can make great use of that card.
Yeah,
it becomes a burn spell. It's
sure.
not, and you don't care about the 2-for-1.
I can see that. And so, funnily enough, I think Raph has the same problem as Javier had. It's like, okay, I got all these red cards. I just got to figure out what my second color is going to be. I don't have much going on, but at least I'm in one color. It seemed fairly open. I should be fine.
Night Market Lookout did not come back.
Nope, did not. That's it might just be to his right. Márcio Carvalho just taking it as hate drafting it because I think people have started to like that archetype over this tournament. Okay, drop some cards.
All right, pack 2 going in the other direction now. There's Mercado Club Security. There's that. Interesting. See, looking at the Sky Skiff, the Propeller Pioneer.
Yeah, and he only starting considering those two cards. He doesn't.
Not even looking at the Skywhaler shot.
He's not interested. He might feel that it's just not a good card in red white deck, but the question is, what is the best white card that he can pick here? Or maybe he just is gonna go for the Sky Skiff.
He might just go for the Sky Skiff, honestly.
Yeah, he's heavily red, and he also has the Reckless Fire Weaver. There's another one in the pack. Like he might just try to do something with that.
Thinking the Reckless Fire Weaver is going to come back around to him.
Yeah. Well, we certainly know we're going to see this Inspiring Advantage again. But Sky Skiff's solid. I like it spot on the curve, especially when you're trying to be somewhat aggressive and with Spire Side Infiltrators and whatnot. Ooh, Oval Chase Dragster. I like it.
You like Oval Chase Dragster over Glint Sleeve Artisan here?
It feels like he's also considering the Experimental Aviator. He does have the Select for Inspection, doesn't have a second color. He might consider the Aviator here. Yeah,
so make the move into blue or stay mostly red here with Oval Chase Dragster.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Dragster, but I like it especially when I have stuff like the Gear Shift Aces, but it's or Build to Smashes.
And he takes the Experimental Aviator, experimenting with blue here for his deck.
Interesting. But I mean, it's great with the Reckless Fire Weavers.
Sure.
You can also attack with it, return it to your hand with Select for Inspection, do some cool things. Now he's like, oh, he's the Veteran Motorist. And I'm like, oh, dang, I should have been red-white.
Veteran Motorist, Built to Smash, Decoction Module, Fragmentize. I think he's going to take the Veteran Motorist here.
I mean, he does already have the two Sky Skiffs.
Two Sky Skiffs.
So back to red-white we go. This is very similar to what Javier was just doing, like switching a little between colors, considering some late cards. Yeah, interesting draft from both players.
Yeah, and it is the Veteran Motorist for Raph Lévy. Again, 2 vehicles for that thing to pilot. Yeah. And again, it's a pretty reasonable card, even without it climbing into a vehicle.
Yeah, for sure.
Impacts your sort of card selection when it comes into play, and also just trades up.
Yeah. Now he can become an eager construct to improve his curve. I don't think he'll want impeccable timing in an aggressive deck.
Interestingly, though, we know those impeccable timings would be terrific against Javier Dominguez with his 3
Salivating Gremlins.
Yeah, Salivating Gremlins and his Brazen Scourges.
Yeah. There's some more white cards. The Trusty Companion and the Propeller Pioneer. So I think at least Raph Lévy settled on being a red-white deck far earlier than Javier did. So this is going to make sure that Raph is going to pick up some nice cards in Pack 3. I think he's going to go for the Pioneer here. Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yep, does take the Propeller Pioneer. Leaves the Trusty Companion. There's a Hawk. There's a Spontaneous Artist. There's a Servo Exhibition.
Okay. could work if he's going to try to go wide. He might wheel one of those inspired charges. There was one in one of the previous packs. That could be a legitimate approach as well. It's a close call here, though, because I think people are quite down on Servo Exhibition unless you have a lot of synergy going on. In Team Steel, it might be good, but in Draft, it sometimes underperforms.
Takes the Servo Exhibition, sort of now crossing his fingers, thinking about that Reckless Fire Weaver coming back.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, another Propeller Pioneer.
Propeller Pioneer. There's also a Start Your Engines.
And the Fire Weaver.
And the Fire Weaver. Start Your Engine, basically a slower version of Inspired Charge.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have vehicles, but he does have 2. But doesn't matter. He's taking that Propeller Pioneer.
Yeah, and it just looks like there were 2 red-white drafters at the table,
and they just got to divide up all the cards.
Yeah, and everyone else everyone else was fighting for the other 3 colors. Ah, there.
And that is a card he was looking for.
Yeah, immediately pulls it to the front, and I think he'll be happy with having one. It gives him another option, and he can focus on some more fabricate cards in later packs.
Does that mean in pack 3, the Visionary Augmenter that we saw get past just finds its way to Raph Lévy?
Yeah, potentially.
All right, Fragmentize.
Cyber card.
Yeah, playable card for him if he needs it. Crush. No one's ever fragmentized an Inventor's Goggles. Come on. Should be a servo in there. That's really what happens.
And most of the time, right? A couple of good green cards.
Yeah, get that Repairing Tiger out of there. Although the Arabara Express was still in there, you get that out of there too.
Nah, I also quite like the Seat Sculpture.
Wow. Trusty Companion.
Late.
Always comes home.
Yeah. It's very trusty.
What's that scratching at the door?
I don't think we'll see him play it. But
I wonder what he was. He's like, what's going to be there? Tezzeret's Ambition. And Start Your Engines does come back around to him. That card could be kind of sweet in his deck.
Could be, yeah. I mean, especially if he picked up like a Renegade Freighter as well. His deck is coming together nicely here. I think he has a solid red-white deck now. After dabbling with those blue cards a little bit, yeah, takes out the Fire Weaver. Is like not interested. Yeah, some good 2-drops. A couple nice 3-drops. Yeah, I think his deck's looking great. Oh, or decent enough. I'm just worried he has too few cards in general. I think he has 4. Yeah, there was like only 13 cards or so. So I think he's definitely going to add a couple of the other red cards. There's the Aviator Mechanic that he forgot about among his playables. There we go. Yeah, he adds it to his pile. He can still have the Fire Weaver. He can still play the Hijack.
Right.
Fragment. He could also make it Fragmentize if he really wanted to. He just needs enough playables in the next few packs. He's probably not going to be hate drafting much just to fill out his curve nicely. But
is anyone hate drafting?
It's quite hard. The thing is with this format, it's very synergy based, which also means that a lot of the cards have a lot of high variance. So if you're hate drafting, then you might not end up in a good spot.
So there's a Thriving Grubs. There's a Welding Sparks. There is a Renegade Freighter.
Yeah, he's going to take the train here for sure. And it's going to be great in his deck too.
Wow, there's also a Confiscation Coup.
Yeah, he's going to make someone happy. He's maybe Raph Lévy hoping that his left-hand neighbor is not blue. But
well, we know it's not red because both of those cards make it all the way around the table to Javier Dominguez.
Yeah. And he's like, passing up these 2 cards, but I think Renegade Freighter just suits his deck so much more.
And that's what he does.
Choo-choo.
It's one of the defining commons of this draft format.
Okay, Gear Shift Ace.
Wow, Gear Shift Ace.
Great.
That card is perfect for his deck. 3 vehicles that it can crew right now.
Yeah. And also would have been nice with the Oval Chase Dragster.
Would have been great with the Dragster.
Yeah, we've seen the interaction today. It's just brutal. A 6/1 first striking trampling creature. I love the Gear Shift Ace.
Cool art. Slightly different looking color palette than we normally see on Magic cards.
Yeah, his deck's coming together. He just needs Playables. Fill out his curve. Maybe find some removal. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Did I just see that? Yes. Master Trinketer.
I mean, it's a little slow for what he's doing, but in team draft, you really don't want to pass it downstream. It's a really strong card, and it can win you the late game. I mean, it's a 3-1 and 3-2 at that. It's a good crew member.
Yeah, absolutely. Capable driver.
Plus, he has already some servo interaction. He has the servo exhibition and 2 of the Propeller Pioneers.
Absolutely. Master Trinketeer, easy pick for him here.
And
he doesn't have the problem that we see from Javier Dominguez's deck. He doesn't have a glut of 3s.
Yeah, for sure. Some Inventor's Goggles would have been nice for Javier.
There's another Propeller Pioneer. There's a Skywhirl Harrier.
Yeah, just another Propeller Pioneer. I think that's fine. You could also pick the 5-drop if you wanted to. It's fine. I think Pioneer is going to work nice with his Inspired Charges, with the Master Trinketeer, and it's decent enough. Like his deck already has a lot of more expensive cards, but it's going to be fine. He might end up playing the Start Your Engines as well.
I think he's going to, unless he gets another Inspired Charge.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I would be surprised if he played both Inspired Charge and Start Your Engines at the same time. But we'll see. Okay, this is a fairly weak pack. Can pick up the Impeccable Timing, or Pathetic Prism Firefly. I actually like the Puzzle Knot, the red one. I think it's a good sideboard card.
Absolutely. Foundry Screecher hates that card.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to take the Impeccable Timing, though.
Yep.
Be interesting to see how that card matches up with the Built to Smashes in Javier's deck.
That's going to be... Oh, look at that.
It
made its way all around to Raph here. Visionary Augmenter. I think he's a little not as keen on it at the start just because he already picked up 3 Propeller Pioneers. This is another 4-drop. But it's just such a good card. And he has so many good interactions with it.
He's looking at the Aviary mechanic here.
Oh. Wow.
Wow. Discipline from Raphaël Lévy.
Yeah, respecting his curve. And those 2 cards would have been great together. Now it gets the white Puzzle Knot. Something that Javier did not get to pick because that pack also had the Welding Sparks.
He took the Welding Sparks. And then he's going to get the Thriving Grubs back. It's kind of interesting to see how those things happen.
Yeah, but I think Raph will be happy with the Puzzle Knot as
Absolutely.
well. Like he's going wide. Now I could see a case being made for playing both Inspired Charge and Start Your Engines.
Herald of the Fair, Consulate Skygate.
Now hate drafting, trying to figure out what was the worst card.
Yeah, doesn't want to let his opponent maybe have a Gear Seeker Serpent.
Yeah, but the thing is, none of these cards will make his way to Javier's deck, so he's mainly trying to improve his matchup of his teammates.
The Herald of the Fair does make it all the way back around with 1 card left. Oh. And there's Inspired Charge number 2.
Nice.
Thriving Ibex.
I don't think he wants the 4-drop here. I think he just wants to finish his creature curve at 4 with the Pioneers and then start playing those Inspired Charges.
Yeah. Wayward Giant, Hijack. He already said, I think it has 2 Hijacks. Yep. Just takes the big dumb giant. Terror of the Fairgrounds, but hate drafts and Aether Trade wins.
Yeah, why not? He already took some blue cards. It's likely that his on his left there's a blue drafter. We don't get okay. Puzzle Knot Cyber card.
Yeah.
Potentially, if his opponent would be on a lot of 1 toughness creatures. Okay.
Consulate Surveillance or Pressure Point. Take the Consulate Surveillance.
Why not? All right.
Okay. And that wraps up the draft. So both players who are going to be playing each other are going to be red-white. Who do you like in this matchup?
I like Raph's deck more in a bubble, but in a direct matchup, Javier's deck might prove better, just because his base creatures are a little fatter. You know, he has those Gremlins. He has the Scourges. He can be quite aggressive. He has the Built to Smashes.
Yeah, the Built to Smashes are the card I think is going to really come to play in this matchup. But Raphaël Lévy, if he can just hang on and ignore his opponent's assault, is capable of stealing games with Inspired Charge.
Yeah, definitely.
Go wide and just fly over and swarm the board with servos.
Yeah, that can definitely happen, but this is takes a little long to set up a game plan like this. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if Raph takes it, but it's going to be fascinating seeing the battle of the red-white decks directly against each other. Also how they sideboard.
Sure.
Because we saw those puzzle nods here and there, some hijacks.
Yeah, and we saw the combustible Gear Hulk.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice hijack target.
That is certainly is.
All right, so we're just getting really close to watching the first of these semifinals. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with that soon. In the meantime, we have a little highlight from the Swiss rounds to show you. We'll be right back with more live magic as soon as the players are ready.